Leadership has attracted universal attention from historians and philosophers for centuries. Leadership plays an extremely important role in our society. Wherever we exist, so does leadership. Many believe that leadership is directly related to what makes us all human. Leadership is who you are, how you act, what you do, and how you work with others. The person I covered for this interview is a perfect example of what it means to be a transformational leader. Charles Maka was born in London and lived there for 18 years until he moved to the United States of America. He described that growing up in London and moving to the United States was a bit of a culture shock at first, and how it made him a better communicator and it strengthened his people skills because he had to learn to adapt to things he wasn't used to. Charles Maka is currently 36 years old and works for the Evo Ultrafit organization based at Ahwatukee, Arizona. I feel it's very important to talk about in detail the organization that he works for because it is so unique. Evo Ultrafit is a physical therapy performance center that offers programs designed for specific sports to enhance balance, coordination, nervous system development, and connective tissue, which leads to usable strength development. The Evo Ultrafit training program is a system of high intensity which targets specific psychological and physical traits. Jay Schroeder created the Evo Ultrafit over 30 years ago after he was in a motorcycle accident that left him with a broken neck and back. Being paralyzed from the waist down, he persevered and developed the Evo training system and received a full recovery. Jay and many of his training techniques have been featured on television shows like Fox Sports Net, ESPN, and The Early Show with Brian Gumbel. The Evo Ultrafit organization has worked with numerous professional world-class athletes that include Ray Lewis, Artem Atcheleta, Tim Thomas, and Jonathan Taves. The goal of Evo Ultrafit is to allow athletes and individuals to live a highly productive life. Charles first knew he wanted to work with Evo Ultrafit when he saw the ESPN piece about Jay training Adam Archuleta for the NFL Combine, which furthered his belief that humans are capable of being much better than they currently are. He was hired 15 years ago when he was 21 years old. One of the biggest traits that stood out to me was how passionate he was about his job. He knew after his first day of working with Evo that all his thoughts were confirmed. This is what he wanted to do for the rest of his life. It's clear that he is extremely passionate and committed 100% to his work. He loves his job and has a great deal of affection for the people with whom he works for and with. His passion and personal enthusiasm motivates others to perform at the highest level possible. The therapy sessions he puts athletes through are extremely painful. He often has to create a vision and provide a clear direction the athletes need to take. He told a very interesting story about Ray Lewis, who is an NFL player for the Baltimore Ravens. In the 2013 season, he tore his tricep. Ray was coming to Evo Ultrafit, and on the third day, he truly wanted to quit because it was so painful. Charles had to encourage and help create the vision in Ray's mind that it was possible to get back on the football field and help his team win. Charles didn't sugarcoat anything. He was direct and honest. He told him that it was going to be a long and difficult road, but they could do it together if he put in the effort and saw the vision. Ray Lewis and the Baltimore Ravens went on to win the 2013 Super Bowl that year. Another important characteristic of a transformational leader that Charles displays is creativity. He is innovative and constantly seeking out new ideas, products, and ways of performing tasks. Evo is based out of Arizona, but there are athletes in the program that live all over the country. Charles knew that they needed to expand their system and create something that people could use anywhere in the country without actually having to come into the facility. He created a virtual platform where their clients can sign into their account, see their workout, and accomplish tasks they needed to do each day. He estimates that over 300 people currently use this platform that he created over 2 years ago. It has allowed their clients to maintain a higher level of work when they are not actually in the facility and do all types of work all over the country. A good leader also can't get too far ahead of his followers. Charles is also a mentor that leads by example. Evo has a very few amount of employees. Recently, they hired Jordan, who is 21 years old, the same age as Charles was when he got hired. So Charles has been mentoring and grooming Jordan for the past year. He discussed how he does his best to not tell him everything so he could learn on his own. He describes how it's important for Jordan to think for himself while also understanding their current system. He also discussed how he gives Jordan more responsibilities and encourages his full participation and involvement. This is also known as empowering, which is an extremely important trait for transformational leaders. Charles describes his biggest satisfaction comes with helping people achieve their goals. He says it's great to be a part of their passion. In conclusion, something that really stood out to me was how Charles will never quit in doing what's right for his clients, himself, and the company. That's something I think we could all learn from and strive towards.